Nice, thank you, Kay. All right. Okay, so there's a thing called diphthongs, okay? I just think it's so much fun to say that, okay? Diphthongs, okay? These are going to be basically when we have two vowels side by side, okay? The two vowels. Now, this is going to be a little more tricky, okay? But you do need to know this when you're reading Greek out loud. It's going to help quite a bit. So when we have a diphthong, two vowels put together produce their own sound. Okay, so if an alpha marries an iota, they produce, like a kid, let's just say, their own vowel, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diphthongs, and this will take a little while to get used to. This is the reason why we have those sheets taped out for you, and you can keep them in the back of your Bible. So if you haven't had yet, you have the alphabet that we had Joanna print out for us. And then also, I think I have one here. I have the diphthongs right here, okay, for a reminder for pronunciation. Now, do not be discouraged. This will take a while for this to set in. When you're going to be reading, there'll be times you catch yourself saying, oh my goodness, that's a diphthong, two vowels together, and you have to reference back, and sometimes, like, oh, I missed that, so don't worry about it, okay? But it just takes some time for this to cement in, okay? So the diphthong is two vowels side by side, they produce their own sound. Alpha iota is going to be I, okay? I. Alpha iota, let's just do it here. 1, 2, 3. Alpha iota, I. Next one. We have an epsilon iota, it's going to be A. Okay? It's going to be A, like 8. Okay? So if you look at the Greek word, it's going to be A, re, ne. A, re, ne. Okay? Then we have an omicron iota. What does that sound like? Try that. See if you can listen. Be oil, like oi. Oi. Oikos. The word oikos means house. Okay? Oi. Like oil. Okay? Alright, so let's go back to the first one. Alpha iota, I. Epsilon iota, A. Omicron iota, oi. Okay? Next one's kind of fun. We have upsilon iota. It's going to be sweet, like we. I always got that like the wee, like French, right? Weos. Okay? Weos, which is going to be the word for sun. Okay? So let's try upsilon iota. Let's try it. Ready, set, go. Weos. Okay? All right, let's go to the top. Alpha iota, I. Then we have, let's try the next one. A, oi, we. Try again, let's go. I, A, oi, we. Now we have the next one. An alpha and upsilon is going to be ow. Ow. Yeah, Faust. Autos. Autos. Okay? So what we're trying to get away from is if we have a diphthong, we do not pronounce two separate vowels. It isn't, e, cos. So go back to the omicron iota. It isn't e, cos. It's oikos. See how that works? So we pronounce it as if it's one vowel. Okay? The problem is if we actually pronounce it with two vowels, then it's a-e-kois. So oikos. Or e, re, ne. It's a, re, ne. It's together. Now this, like I said, this is going to be challenging to remember. But do your best on this. If you don't master this, it's not the end of the world, okay? All right? We have an epsilon and upsilon, and that's going to be feud. You. So, like, if we look at this word here, eulagatos. Okay? Feud. You. Okay, let's go to the top. Ready? Pronounce I, A, oi, we, ow, you. Good job. Then the last one. The omicron upsilon. Su. U. Uranos. See the word Greek there? Uranos, which means heaven. Uranos. Ooh. Now, when you do syllables, if you can remember, back to the Sesame Street days, they would have different words, and I'm trying to remember if it was Cookie Monster or who it was, but they would have the words, and they'd have a couple letters on this side, a couple letters on this side, and you'd say the first syllable and the second syllable, and then they would slowly bring the letters together. Right? Remember that from Sesame Street? So if they would have, let's just say, pick a word, pick a word. That's one syllable though. Okay, the two multi-syllable word, the fong. Yeah. Happy?
Monkey.
Monkey, okay, monkey, okay. So how many syllables is monkey? Two. Why do we say two syllables? Because there's two vowels, right? So if you're a monkey, you would have mon-key, and then they would what? They bring them together, and as soon as they come together, they would celebrate, everybody would have a big party because we got the word. When we do Greek now, we want to understand that it's only one vowel or diphthong per syllable. Okay? Just like English, right? So, my name, Matthew, two syllables. Why? Two vowels, an A and an E, right? If you're to say fun, one syllable because you have what? You have one vowel, right? Okay? Caleb, two syllables, two vowels. That makes sense? Joanna, how many vowels? 3. How many syllables? 3, right? Which I just go with Joe all the time because it's one vowel. It's easier, one syllable, right? Interesting. See how that works? Okay? So same thing with Greek. No different than what we're doing. We're doing it subconsciously with English already, right? But with Greek, the number of syllables depends on the number of vowels. Or diphthongs. So diphthong, that's the reason why I have to learn the diphthongs first, right? Because if you have, like the word, let's say the word oikos, right? You would think, okay, that's 3 syllables. That's only 2 because the oi is what? A diphthong, so it stands as one vowel together. It functions as one vowel. That make sense? So every syllable must contain a vowel or a diphthong. Okay? Now, when possible, consonants begin each syllable. What's a consonant?
Non-vowel.
Not a vowel, yeah. Okay. A is a vowel, B is not a vowel. So we think English language, A, E, I, O, U, right? Everything else that's not A, E, I, O, U is a consonant, right? So we start, when possible, we start with a consonant. Okay? So let's look at this first one here, okay? So we have a Greek word. I'll draw it up on the board here. Okay. All right, so real quick, before we even pronounce it, do we have any diphthongs going on there? Okay, where are they at? At the end, we got one right here, and we also have one where?
Right there.
Here. So we have how many vowels? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. How many syllables? 4. Okay? Now, here's the question then, is if we have 4 syllables, how do we break this up? Now, when possible, you let the consonant lead, right? Now, does this epsilon have a consonant in front of it? No. Now, the question is, where's the lambda going to hang out? Is it going to go this way or is it going to go this way? It's actually going to go to the right because we want to start with what? A consonant, right? So the consonant is going to what? It's always going to go party with the one it can actually lead. So the consonant wants to lead the vowel. Okay? So it's not going to be L, U, Sama. So this lambda is not going to go this way. It's not going to go party this way. It's going to go and help lead here. So we have our first syllable is just going to be a vowel by itself. Okay? So how do we say that vowel? Yeah. Then we have this one right here. So now the question is, where do we separate the next syllable? We have a vowel here, an omicron here, we have a diphthong there, and an alpha here. So where does the sigma go? It's going to go this way, right? It's going to lead that omicron. So we're going to go right there. See, the sigma is going to lead. The consonant's going to lead the vowel. And then how about this mu? The mu is going to go this way or this way? It's going to go to the right. It's going to lead the diphthong. So we have 4 syllables. Okay, 4 syllables. We would then pronounce this. Let's try to pronounce this. Start with this one. Ready, set, go. Yeah. Lu. Sa. Mai. Good job. Good job. Yeah. Lu. Sa. Mai. We're doing Sesame Street. We're going to speed it up. Okay. Try again. Ready, set, go.
Lu, sa, mai. Lu, sa, mai. Lu, sa, mai.
Elusamai. Elusamai. Good job. You read your first Greek word. Okay. Now, how many vowels do we have? We have 3 vowels. Do we have any diphthongs? Do we have any diphthongs? No. Yeah, the reason I do this is to try to trick you guys. This is not a diphthong. So we technically, now, instead of having what? If this was a diphthong, we'd only have what? 2 vowels. If it was a diphthong, we had 2 vowels, and it would be 2 what? Syllables. But this is actually not a diphthong, so we technically then have how many vowels? 3, which means how many syllables? 3. So, right away, the consonant is going to lead this upsilon, but we're not going to combine these because they're not diphthongs, so we're going to what? Go in the middle, right here. That's going to be our first syllable. Alright, now, what do we do here? We have an omicron epsilon. Where's the mu? Where's the mu going to go party? It's going to go, yep, it's going to lead the party, right? So think of the consonant always wants to take the lead. Consonant wants to take the lead, wants to be first, okay? So the vowel's get all the attention, the consonant has to do somehow, right? So then we're going to draw a line right here, because the consonant's going to lead the vowel, and we have 3 syllables to have 3 vowels. Okay, so let's try this here. We got 2, 3. So how do we do this? 1, 2, 3. Lu. Ah. Men. Lu.
Ah. Men. Lu. Ah. Men. Lu. Ah. Men. Lu. Ah. Men.
Luamen. Good job.
How do you know that's not diphthong?
Okay, so it's not a diphthong because we look at it's an upsilon omicron. Do we have any upsilon omicrons? We have an omicron upsilon.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was this, okay, but let's just take the same word. If it was like this, yeah. So now you have a diphthong right here, right? So this would be a syllable, and this would be syllables. And where would you divide it? Right here. And this would be more like lumen. A lumen. Okay? But this would be lumen. Lumen. So that would change it then. Make sense? Okay. So how many vowels do we have?
2.
2, right here and here. All right, now this is tricky. So we want to begin with consonant, right? Right here. But now what do we do? What do we do here with this tau and roll? Okay, does the tau go this way and the roll go this way? Now here's what's interesting. When it comes to this, I want you to read this here. The example above, you can see that there's 2 vowels in each syllable, and both syllables starts with a consonant. However, there are 2 consonants side by side. The general rule with this is to combine syllables that work together. In this case, we can appeal to our English language to partner consonants that work together. Examples of this would be tr, br, st, right? We do a step, right? We combined S and T. They work together. So when the consonants work together, we partner them up. So here we have a t, and then what sound does this make? Br. So tra, that truck, I think that can work together. Like truck, right? When we write the word truck, we have the T and the R. They work together. They complement. Now, if they don't complement, you can actually divide the two. But when they complement, these two are going to what? Hang out together, and they're going to work together as a team, as a consonant team, and they're going to lead what? The omicron. So then we can draw the line where instead of going patros, we're going to go patros. See what I'm saying? So we're going to go right here, because these consonants can work together. So patros. Actually, it'd be more assonant like that. Patros. Patros. Instead of patros. Patros. 2 syllables, because these two work together. Okay? That makes sense? Okay, let's review real briefly the gamma. When you have 2 gammas together, what happens to the first one from last week? Turns to an N, right? An N sound when they're side by side. That's the gamma rule. Instead of having angelos, it would be angelos. Okay? And don't worry, on some of these things you will forget. Trust me, you will forget. And you'll catch yourself. Okay? Alright? Let's talk about this too real quickly. The breathing mark is a way to review. So, okay? If we have it like this, okay? How do we pronounce that when the breathing mark's like that, when it's closed? How do we pronounce that?
Elm.
What's that? Yeah, so we have 2 different ways. Let me just go like this. So the breathing mark moves like that versus this one. See the difference? Okay? So you have, if you imagine wind going this way and wind going this way, this breathing mark is going to what? Allow it to go over or stop it? Stop it. It's going to stop it. Here, it's going to allow it to what? Go over. That's the way that I remember it. So this would be an low. So the H sound comes, but it doesn't allow, because you have the breathing mark, it doesn't allow, so it's elo. But here you have the breathing mark that leans that way, so then what are you going to have? Hello, the sound. That makes sense? So I talked about this last week. When you have that breathing mark going this way, it's going to stop the sound. So the way I picture all the this sound is just saying hello, right? It's allowing that breathing mark, the H sound to come from your breathing. So if you try to make that H sound, you do it by what? It's just breathing. It's not really even pronouncing. You don't have to even move your mouth. That's where the H sound comes from. So when your breathing mark is faced like this, imagine it like a dam, it stops it. But when the breathing mark is like this, it allows it to what? Flow over. That makes sense?
Is that when we got one?
No, this is going to, you see the breathing mark, you'll see it everywhere. It's typically with vowels. Yeah, it has to start. Okay, John 1. We're going to try to read this together. I'm going to read it once. John chapter 1, verse 1. I'm going to try to read this first. I'll read it slow in my broken Sesame Street language with Canadian accent, and you guys can follow in afterwards, okay? So ready? I'm going to read this once, you just follow along. N-R-K. Now see right there, you have that breathing mark there? It's not hard-K, it's R-K. There's no, because there's no breathing mark to actually have the H sound. N-R-K, ain, ha. See that? Ha. It's not ah, it's ha. Ha, logos, kai, ha, logos, ain, pros, ton, theon, kai, theos, ain, ha, logos. Okay, now I'm asking you, are you able to follow along a little bit? A little bit? Okay? Alright, let's start at the very beginning. We're just going to work on verse 1. Our goal is by the end of the summer, maybe we can get all 5 verses. We're just going to go verse 1, okay? Let's try to do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. arche, ein, ha, logos, kai, ha, logos, ein, pros, ton, theon, kai, theos, ein, ha, logos. Okay? Now you notice with the word theon, the reason why it's two syllables is why. It's not a diphthong. Okay? So it's two syllables because it's not a diphthong. Same with the word theos. Theos. Okay, let's try again. In, arche, ein, ha, logos, kai, ha, logos, ein, pros, ton, theon, kai, theos, ein, ha, logos. In beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word, and the Word was God. Good job, you guys. Next week, what we're going to be working on is we're going to be working on nouns, okay? So we have to work through. Now, the thing is, with the Greek language, the verb many times comes first. So you'll have, like, Matt hit the ball in the Greek language. Sometimes you're going to have hit, Matt, ball. And you're like, okay, they put the verb many times first. Well then, how do we find out what the subject of the sentence is? Well, that's called a nominative. Okay, so nominatives and accusatives, what those mean, don't let those big terms scare you, and seeing how they work, and we'll be using Bible software to see how that works out. But sometimes, like I said, the verb goes first, and then you're like, okay, well, where's the subject? And you have to find the subject, and we'll use Bible software to do that. Okay? All right. Okay, let's stand and pray.